Okay, so I'm going to do a quick video on the getting used to the trig identities. So, of course, you need a right triangle, and we're gonna look at this theta right here, and I'll call this ABC. So, sine is equal to opposite over adjacent. Hypotenuse. Cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So we're going to look at this angle right here. And we're going to say, okay, well, this angle is going to be the sine of it. It's going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse. And we're going to do the cosine of it. So I'm going to take this out real quick. Alright, so cosine is going to be adjacent over the hypotenuse. And finally, the tangent is going to be the opposite over the adjacent. Boom. So we're going to do another one to try and sink this into you guys' heads. Alright, so let's pretend that the sine's up here. Boom. So let's see. Sine of theta is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Cosine theta is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And tan theta is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Alright, so hopefully you got down exactly what opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse is. So let's go a little bit more into the crazier ones, which is the inverses. So if we say that sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, the inverse of it, or 1 over sine, which is also equal to cosecant theta, is equal to hypotenuse over opposite. One over cosine theta is equal to the secant theta, which is equal to the adjacent, hypotenuse over adjacent, and 1 over tan theta, which is equal to cotangent theta, equals adjacent over opposite. Now you might get a little intimidated, like, oh my god, all these. Just remember that cosecant is the inverse of sine, secant is the inverse of cosine, and cotangent is the inverse of tangent, and when it's the inverse, you just flip them. So let's see if we can do this. So let's say that the angle right here, what is the cosecant of theta? Well, it's going to be the hypotenuse over the opposite. Secant, secant of theta is equal to the hypotenuse over adjacent, and the cotangent of theta is equal to the adjacent over the opposite. So this is the angles of it. So we're going to do one more problem. And this problem is going to be, pull up, it's in my phone. You can draw it out. So, problem X. We have a right triangle. And this is A, B, C, and alpha. And it says, in the right triangle illustrated, the ratio of side A to side B, is which trig ratio? For angle alpha. Okay, so let's look at this. So it says the ratio of side A to side B is a trig ratio. Is which trig ratio for angle theta? Alright, so at angle theta, this is angle theta right here, or angle alpha, A is opposite, so we see that A is opposite, over B, which is adjacent. And opposite over adjacent is tangent. So we tangent alpha is A over B. We could do a million one of the more of these videos, but I think the main thing is that you just need to practice how to go about doing each video, each problem.